Zelenskyy just signed a new law that could allow the Ukrainian government to block news websites.
Here's a summary of the article.
A new law signed by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy could give Ukraine's government powers to block media outlets. Zelenskyy signed the law on Thursday after Ukraine's parliament passed it earlier in December, The New York Times reported. Organizations representing journalists say the law will erode press freedoms in Ukraine. Under the law, Ukraine's media regulator could block websites that are not registered with the government as news organizations, the Kyiv Independent reported on Friday. Ukrainian lawmakers have been considering a new law regulating the media since 2019, when Zelenskyy directed parliament to draft it. Since Russia's invasion in February 2022, Ukraine has introduced changes to how the media operates. Zelenskyy himself has expressed frustration with the media at times.
This post received a score of 11,000, with an upvote ratio of 88%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Just curious, how did the U.S. regulate media during World War II, if at all? Obviously the War Department was churning out war news and propaganda, but did they censor, restrict any media from being published?
They formed the, and heavily regulated the press, especially radio. It was almost entirely geared towards preventing information on troop movements and weather from getting out, and coded enemy messages from getting in. They didn't force stations to broadcast propaganda or ban negative stories, and most of the restrictions were followed voluntarily. There was also the, which was responsible for producing propaganda and rejected film scripts that were critical or negative regarding the war effort, but they did not restrict the press to my knowledge.
Yes, it seems this was a bit more functional about what comes in and out of the country, not necessarily with what's published domestically as far as swaying public opinion. Also till the catchphrase, "loose lips sink ships," came from this agency. The voluntary aspect is somewhat enlightening as to how unified the country was in the war effort. I feel like someone would have replied about some landmark Supreme Court case by now, though, if that were the case. Americans have a curious ability to get in line when there is a clear and present danger to the nation. Someone summed it up with, "You can always count on Americans to do the right thing when they have no other option."
Winston Churchill famously stated, "Americans will always do the right thing, only after they have tried everything else." Is that the quote you are thinking of?
It was attributed to him, but tracing things down, it was apparent not said by him, and I've heard both versions.
Lawmakers have touted the bill as an effort to bring Ukraine's media laws closer to European Union standards as the country makes a bid to join the 27-member bloc. They have also argued that it will help counter Russian propaganda as Russia's invasion of Ukraine nears its one-year anniversary. Organizations representing journalists say the law will erode press freedoms in Ukraine. Under the law, Ukraine's media regulator could block websites that are not registered with the government as news organizations, the Kyiv Independent reported on Friday.
Why not quote the next paragraphs as well?
That is also extremely important to consider, and it's sad that these two paragraphs are just ignored in the top comment. Tons of people will only see the one paragraph and get only half of the important information. Edit. They added it to the comment, so disregard this first paragraph. People who support Ukraine need to support the freedom of speech in Ukraine as well. Censorship is a bad decision in almost all cases.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.